is up, world? Welcome to Apocaflix Now, the movie hangout show from Apocaflix Movies. We are going to be talking some crazy stuff going on in the movie world today. And of course, we're going to be doing our movie watching challenge as always, but I will introduce the crew. I am your host, Jacob Bartley. We have Brian Avalosino, Jake Berlin, Keith Barnes, and Gio Ramos. What is going on?
It's our first official pre-recorded episode of Now
in a long time, yeah.
Don't tell them.
Just pretend it's
He's
live.
kidding. We're live.
Yeah.
We're live. Yes.
Keith, you're on time.
I mean, you're on time. See, that's what I'm saying. Yeah.
Yeah. You can tell people, look, I was podcasting on Thursday. Like, where did you think I was?
Yes. I just put the same shirt back on because it's
They're gonna think.
I gotta say this real quick, guys. I gotta say this real quick because we didn't do it on the first official, or not the first official, but the official 50th episode. But we're up to 64 episodes of Apocaflix now.
Wow,
we're up to 64 episodes of Apocaflix now.
That's crazy. And we've been doing 2 a week. So
2 a week.
Yeah. For a while, it was just 1 a week at first.
What are we gonna do for the 100th?
100th, yes. But that's that.
Man, that's interesting.
Take a day off. That's what we'll do.
We could
I'm kidding.
We'll know when that is if we plan it. We just count it out. Count out the days. Yeah.
Very true.
That we should do something really cool for that. That would be fun.
Yeah.
I don't know what, but just something on air. Be pretty cool. Awesome. Well, let's get into it. Let's get into our
We played drinking trivia and see how drunk everyone gets.
There we go.
I like
Only
it.
if Brian actually drinks.
He will.
I'm not gonna have to drink because if it's Star Wars trivia, I'm gonna skunk you under the table.
Hey.
You know what, Brian? You're right. I hope I have a fighting chance. That's all.
That's fair.
Hey, if I set myself
So,
up like I'm the underdog, then
Yeah.
either way I win because they're like, yeah, you were right. Or if I win, looks good. All right, so
I saw through that. That's why I left.
Yeah, that was a
I knew
loser's
that.
mentality, but that's okay.
let's get to the movie watching challenge like we do every week. And last challenge was Jake. He was chosen to watch The 13th Warrior, which was a Geo chosen film. So let's get into it. Jake, what are your thoughts on The 13th Warrior?
Yeah, how much did you hate it, Jake? Come on, tell me.
I didn't hate it, actually. I don't know why you're being so negative about it. I didn't hate it.
Lowering expectations.
I didn't know anything about the movie going in. I had never heard of it. I didn't know who was in it. I didn't know what it was about. And I purposely, when I do this stuff, I don't look at synopsises or any of that stuff. I go in with a totally blank slate. I watched it today, and so I actually have a very fresh mind on it. And I didn't over the top love it, but it's a cool, good, fun movie. It's not like the most stellar thing I've ever seen in my entire life. It's definitely an interesting movie. It plays on the Norse mythology to an extent, not fully, but to an extent. It's a very different take on the Norse mythology. It's also a very interesting mixture on the Arab culture along with the Norse, which is very interesting inside the film itself. Because if you don't know, Antonio Banderas plays an Arab, and he comes over and he essentially joins the ranks of some Vikings to protect and take back something that was theirs. And I didn't expect the movie to take the turns that it did as it kind of went on, because it kind of goes a little bit darker and more violent than I was expecting. It gets into some cool, interesting creature stuff and these other people that are very much savages, and they talk in different languages and they wear these bear costumes and stuff like that. And it's a very 90s movie. That's exactly what it is. And no, I didn't hate it at all. It was an enjoyable watch. I'm glad I watched it. It's not something that I'll probably ever go back to unless I'm like, oh, maybe I'll check that out. But I'm glad I did watch it because it's different. It's interesting. I like seeing more of Antonio Banderas, especially in his prime. And I'm always for sword fighting and bows and arrows
for
and
Vikings
stuff, and or Vikings in general. So
barbarians.
it was definitely right up my alley as far as a good, fun, cheesy movie. And yeah, I did enjoy it. And so no, I didn't hate it at all.
John McTiernan, man. That's
who it was. I couldn't think of his name. That's
Yeah.
the director. Yes, John McTiernan. Yes.
not
Yeah.
bad.
So last time we talked about it, I said it was based on something because I remember we were reading Beowulf in one of my classes, and I guess it's loosely based on the Beowulf story. So that's what it was.
Wow.
But yeah, I remember watching it. It was entertaining for sure. It's not like a movie I would remember. But Gio, can I ask you what made you choose this movie for Jake?
Well, for me, it was just a movie that I grew up watching. Like I always remember it being on TV, HBO. And as a kid, like there were certain things that frightened me. Jake, you're talking about what as the movie gets a little darker. And there's a guy in the movie that you're rooting for, and something terrible happens, and you're just like, oh man. But then he has the most beast, fight, and I'll just say that. But so I thought, Jake is a fan of Vikings. He likes the sword and sandals.
Yeah, exactly.
If there was ever an
Sword and sandals
opportunity to
stuff.
get him to watch something that he maybe would not have watched, I mean, this is why we do this, watch along or I'm sorry, challenge movie.
Yeah.
So
No, and for me, Antonio Banderas is just the man, dude. He needs to be appreciated more. Like of our generation, he's one of the higher regarded actors, in my opinion.
one of the best parts of Expendables.
Honestly, it made me want to watch Mask of Zorro again.
Yeah.
It's like prime. It's
so
like
good.
prime Antonio Banderas.
So good.
Like in that time where he's doing action and stuff, it made me want to go back and watch his movies where he was taking part in that type of stuff.
Yeah, for sure. All right, so the second part of this is someone else new gets challenged, and that is Keith Barnes, who was selected by Jake. And we're going to go ahead and reveal his 4 options. But Keith, first you get to choose. Do you want the fans to choose your fate, or do you want to just choose a random number 1 through 4?
I'll choose a number. Roll a dice.
Okay.
Brian, do you have the numbers available, or you want me to do it real quick?
I did it. I have one job.
Brian's got control. All right, Brian, it's all yours then.
All right, Keith, your choice, well, not choices. Your options are Rock and Rolla, Invictus,
Oh, wow. Okay.
La La Land, and The Raid Redemption.
All great choices, man.
Okay. This is the second time this has happened.
I
And I
have
marked
them on
it.
the board.
I've seen
What?
La La Land and The Raid 2.
Oh, my goodness.
What the hell?
Okay.
It's marked
Yes, I
as
have.
red.
No, I marked those both because this exact thing happened when I watched Shawshank Redemption. And those were the exact same 2 movies that got picked, and I said I saw those.
The Raid is marked red. It's marked red.
When I sent you my movies that I've seen, I put both of those down. I still have I'll scroll back in the message.
Okay, I'm updating them right now. So
No,
La
I
La
already got
Land.
it. I already took care of it.
Oh, you did? Okay.
I already took care of it.
All right, so he has to choose between what movies?
He gets to choose between 2 now, which is Rock and Rolla and Invictus.
Well, how do we do that? It's still a random number?
Yeah,
So
pick a
I
number
have-
between 1 and 2.
Unless Brian and I want to throw 2 more movies on the list right
But you
now.
wanna-
I think you
so
should.
Put 2 more in there. Yeah.
Well, okay. Give me one second.
Hopefully they're not.
Watch there be other movies that he's seen.
It
We're
won't.
gonna be here all night.
I just have to open the drive. My problem is I'm in territory where I haven't even seen the movies that I would be challenging you guys.
No, Brian, there's some movies on there that you've seen.
The worst part is he now knows that, the 2 movies that are left were either Gio or me.
Hey, you know what? We do it on the fly. We do it on the
all
fly.
good.
While
all
they're selecting that, Keith,
Yes.
would you like to see John McTiernan back in Hollywood doing movies?
He just kind of went away, man. I forgot he directed 13th Warrior, but the last I was thinking was Last Action Hero, which I love.
I thought he was blacklisted. No, his last movie was Basic with John Travolta and
Samuel
Samuel
Jackson. Yeah. No, I know that. I'm just saying the last I heard of him was Last Action Hero. I didn't realize he had directed.
He directed Rollerball.
Ooh.
Oh.
Ooh. Yeah, well, see, there you go. See, when you're doing stuff like that, then your career's kind of over at this point for a guy. But he made some great movies.
I think I have my choice.
I have mine too.
I'm gonna go with Starship Troopers.
Oh, I'm surprised you didn't save that for me.
I'm sorry to tell you.
Jesus.
I sent you that list, and that movie is on it. I promise.
Okay. How about this? How about Wild Wild West?
I saw that in the theater.
Oh my God.
Jacob, let's order a pizza, bud.
Yeah.
Okay, how about The Raid 2?
That's the one we just.
No. There's The Raid 2 and there's The Raid. There's two of them.
Isn't The Raid Redemption the Raid 2?
No.
Oh, I'm sorry. I mixed it up. Which one's the? Well, I've seen both of them though. But that's what I'm saying.
Oh my God.
Hey, Take Me Home Tonight is the one I picked then.
Oh, with Dan Fogler and.
Have you seen it, Keith?
I have seen that. I saw that in the theater also.
Oh my goodness! Every movie.
I promise you, I'm scrolling back on the group chat to see where it is. I said all these movies are on this list.
Hey, how about Hidalgo?
I have Hidalgo right in this box over here.
Let's just go with the two movies.
Hey,
Have you seen The Devil Wears Prada? Because that's what I picked.
Oh, I love The Devil Wears Prada. It's one of my favorites.
Oh my God. So you
He's
clearly
seen everything.
Just go with
Okay.
the two. Just go with the two.
Yeah.
Sorry.
All right.
Darn
pick
you,
one
Keith, for watching movies.
one or two.
2.
Your choice is now Invictus.
Yes.
Ooh. All right, man.
Yes.
Cool. I don't know how I
There we go.
missed this. That's rugby, right? Rugby team?
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
Rugby. South
Isn't this the
African rugby.
Clint Eastwood movie?
Yeah.
Yep.
Oh, okay.
Nelson Mandela, the Springboks versus the All Blacks rugby.
Clint Eastwood. Really?
Yeah.
This movie is incredible.
I didn't know that.
I've seen
I can't
even
wait to
I've
watch
seen
this.
it and it's really good.
I haven't seen it.
I'm gonna rewatch it.
I don't know how I missed it. I don't know how I didn't know it was a Clint Eastwood movie. Wow.
I guess I take it you're not a fan of Clint Eastwood movies.
I love Clint Eastwood. I just watched $1 Million Baby maybe 2 weeks ago. So I love that movie as well. But yeah, I can't wait to watch this one, man.
All right. Well, there you go.
Cool.
That seems like a good choice for Keith. He's going to be watching Invictus, and there you go. That's going to do it for this movie watching challenge. So before we get to our news segment where we're going to talk about all these crazy date changes and everything going on with movie theaters, I just want to tell you about our podcast. You can find our audio podcast on almost any platform that you go to: Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Google Podcasts, at Apocaflix Movies. Go ahead and search for us there. Please subscribe to us and rate and comment. That is very important. Interact with us. Rate our podcast, comment on them. We would really appreciate it. That really helps us out a lot. And if you don't want to use all your data on video, or you don't want to have a YouTube video blocking your phone, check out us on audio platform. It is a really good way to listen to us. And with that being said, let's get to our news segment of the day. And that's going to just deal with all this crazy date shifting going on. So, Jake, why don't you tell them what we got going on today?
Yeah, it's kind of a hybrid news topic today. We only have one really major topic, and it's all kind of combined in one for the show for the remaining about 30 minutes or so. Obviously, we learned this week that a number of Warner Brother pictures are being pushed back a lengthy amount of time. Not just movies like Dune, but also the entire DC slate is being pushed back, as well as Matrix 4, which is actually being shifted up because of this, because it's already been filmed and almost finished, I believe. We also got news that movies like Jurassic World Dominion are being pushed back, and this is a blow to a lot of people, just because not people, but to theaters, and this kind of combines into what we're going to be talking about with this, the fact that Regal Cinemas, a theater chain that is very popular around us here in Northern California, will officially be closing all of their theaters. They are shutting down. They have over 500 theaters around the country, and they are closing their doors on all of them. And this is all due to COVID. And it's going to be a blow to a lot of people who have just Regal in their area. We have a few Regals in our area, which will be unfortunately gone. Luckily, we do have another company that is staying afloat for the moment. But the pushback of all of these movies means that a lot of the theaters are going to have to rely on releasing older films to make money. And that could be a massive blow. I will add that Wonder Woman 84 is currently holding its release date. And I will also add that a movie like No Time to Die has officially been pushed back to next year as well. And so a lot of movies are being pushed, not just months, but over a year past its original release date because of everything going on. You know, some studios are taking precaution and don't want to have the Tenet issue of releasing it too early and shifting its release dates 5 different times. So this is kind of an overall conversation about it because it's a big deal for us. We're a movie podcast. Our topic of choice is film, and this hurts us because for a while we're not going to have a lot of new movies to talk about. And this also hurts our movie going experience because some of us who may choose to do Regals, they're no longer going to be in the area. I know there's one around the corner from me here where I am. I know, Jacob, you used to you had the Regal pass.
Well, and now I live right next to the Roseville one. And right now, before this closure, I could go use my Regal pass and they're not charging us, which I've only seen one movie since quarantine.
Yeah, so it's a big blow to a lot of people.
Was that?
It's a big blow to a lot of people, and it's something that we can discuss. So I kind of want to just open the floor about not just the release date shifts, because that's kind of like a minor conversation, but it's more so just the impact this has on theaters and the community at large as far as film fans and everything like that. So I'm not going to really call on names or anything. I kind of just want to have an open discussion about this for the next 20 to 30 minutes. So for everyone who wants to start, the floor is open.
Well, I mean, this just kind of, like the health of people and like whatever, if that's the reason for it is safety, then I'm all for it. Like that stuff is more important than us going to watch movies in the theater. But just this overall situation sucks because, like, look, we're, like you said, Jake, we're a movie podcast, right? So we have to talk about this. If we were sports podcasts have to talk about how COVID-19 is affecting sports. We're talking about how it's affecting movies. And while we find a way to make it work, we come up with game nights, we talk about the little news stories here and there, but it really sucks not having new releases to talk about, because normally we would do a spoiler discussion on the big movie coming out, and a lot of people would respond to those and react, and it's just crazy. It's changed our whole what we do basically for now. So, and I was hoping that we could get to a place of normalcy sometime soon, so we can get back to that, so we could have those big spoiler discussions and stuff. But like I said, none of that stuff's important when it comes to like people's health and everything. But I don't know. Gio's been calling it all along. Gio's been saying, look, the theaters aren't, like, these big movies aren't going to start coming out. They're not going to open fully. The theaters have tried to open, and they've been open. But I was looking at Tenet, and Tenet's only made 300 million worldwide, like 307. Which, like, if there was a normal release, no pandemic, it would have made over $1 billion probably. So it's just a crazy situation, man.
Yep, I pretty much agree with that. I was not a fan of Tenet opening, but they did it because, hey, Christopher Nolan wants his movie out there, right? And no big movie really tested those waters. I mean, yeah, you had the New Mutants, but I mean, be honest, how many people do we know were really looking forward to the New Mutants? I mean, for myself, not that many. It's important to put emphasis here that none of these movies that are being released are in trouble. These movies will come out. It's just a matter of it's a business decision, okay? Like, people aren't going to the movie theaters, people aren't traveling or any of that kind of stuff because of this pandemic. And yeah, maybe some of it's political, but that's another conversation. But what is in trouble are the movie theaters, because they were really hoping that some new movies would bring audiences in. You can only go off of old movies for so long, because people, they have the comfort of their own home. Home entertainment is so much bigger 10 years today than it was 10 years ago. So I myself, I don't think this is stopping. I think movies that are slated right now in January are going to get pushed as well, unfortunately. And one movie in particular I'm looking forward to is Mortal Kombat. I want to see that. But the fact that it's October, we haven't even gotten a trailer yet. Yeah, they're pushing that. Whatever else is slated for January, that's going to go as well. I'm not expecting Wonder Woman to stay. I mean, they're brave, they're bold, but I don't expect it to let up until middle of first quarter 2021. That's just my prediction. So
Yeah, it's tough because obviously, we want movie theaters to survive, but we also want people to be safe. It's like it's a pick and a pull, right? It's kind of like a double-edged sword in a way. I think studios pushing their movies back, they have the right to do that, and I think it's a smart move for them to do that. It's just unfortunate because it's at the cost of losing companies who have theaters around the country and the world, like a Regal Cinemas, who has been very near and dear to our hearts for a number of years, having theaters all over the place. I mean, I grew up going to a Regal in my hometown as well as the hometown next to it, or the town next to my hometown. There were Regals all over the area where I grew up, and so it's really unfortunate that that's the case because, like I said, it's something that it comes at a cost, which is unfortunate. And I agree with you. I think that January movies are probably going to be pushed back, which sucks because, you mentioned Mortal Kombat. The new trailer for that film, the 355, just dropped yesterday, which looks badass. And that's a January movie. That movie's probably going to be pushed back to a time that we don't know as well. Other movies like Black Widow, which were supposed to come out this May, got pushed back a full year until next May. Same thing with No Time to Die and other films. And so, it sucks. It really, really does suck. And I will say this, though. This is where this is possibly where companies like Netflix and Prime Video and Hulu thrive, because if those movies are finished and there's a product that is already done and ready to be pushed, they could possibly nab some projects that studios can't push out because of theaters, and companies could get money for as far as a buyout. And Netflix can put it on their streaming system, or Hulu can put it on their streaming system as one of their original properties. We could end up seeing a lot of this happen down the line. Smaller films that were looking to get some kind of money back could possibly be sold to streaming services. So for the next however many months this is happening, we could see streaming services taking advantage of it because they're at the ready to debut products. And because if at some point, if this does last a long time, they're going to run out of products as well. And so if there's stuff on the market ready to be shopped, they could be at the waiting, ready to purchase and debut it on their own services. So the movie world has already been shifting for a long time, but Corona is shifting it to an extent that we didn't expect. And the timely manner of streaming services is becoming very critical to theaters and the movie business in general.
Yeah, I mean, the studios at some point are probably going to they're going to need to be making money. So these buyouts of their movies are going to become a necessity. Like the people that suffer, unfortunately, is the theater itself. Because at the end of the day, the studio needs to make money. That's what they want. That's what they probably honestly could care less what theater it's in, if it's in a theater, as long as they're making money for that movie, getting the money back they put into that movie, getting it back, and then making some type of profit off of it. So whether that is a theater or a streaming service, if they get desperate enough, they're not going to care. So, I mean, the real loser out of this is the theaters, and out of the whole entire thing, because you're going to start seeing them drop like flies. You're going to probably see smaller ones closed. I fear for us in Sacramento that the tower is going to get shut down. Like, I don't even know how it's still there right now.
Yeah.
But
to your point, Brian. Oh, sorry.
No, you're fine. I was just
No,
going to repeat myself.
To your point, and remember, theaters can only open at a certain capacity. They can't open to fill every seat. So that right there is still a loss. I mean, it's just it's heartbreaking, and you know, I hate making predictions, but I think next is going to be AMC because they were already in trouble.
Yeah.
They were the first one to be in trouble in general, and they seem to get out of it somehow. But it does seem like if it doesn't open for a while, we could see another major chain drop out in being AMC. It's weird because, you know, for the longest time I never thought of Cinemark as like the leading contender as far as movie theaters, but they seem to be the best off out of everybody right now and how they're handling things. I don't know if that's just, you know, backing money services or if people are supporting them in the area. I'm not sure. But if theaters don't open for a while, which I don't see them opening for the remainder of the year, and it sucks because when are the two biggest times, or one of the two or the three biggest times to go to the movie theaters? 4th of July, Thanksgiving, and Christmas.
Mm-hmm.
And two of those holidays are coming up. They've already missed out on July 4th. If they missed out on Thanksgiving and Christmas, there could be a major, major halt in theaters going forward.
Yeah, man. Yeah, it's good call there, Brian. I just drove by. I live right down the street from the Tower Theater. And I pass by it every day on my way home. So, yeah, there is a Save the Tower. I wish I would have got the information there. There's a Save the Tower campaign online. So probably look that up if anybody's in the local area, Sacramento or just California in general. Or, yeah, because that will be heartbreaking, man. We've lost a lot of landmarks here in Sacramento that have been here for a long time because of this virus, like Dimple Records and, you know, Thrift Town, which is the thrift store in the movie Lady Bird. That place closed, unfortunately. And so, man, we almost lost Pancake Circus, which is a favorite restaurant of mine. It's right down the street from me as well. So, yeah, that would be crushing to lose the Tower Theater. And yeah, sucks, man. I got a $50 Regal gift card for Christmas last year that I haven't got a chance to use, and so so I'm sorry to my friends who bought that for me. You know, but I don't know. Maybe they'll.
Well, you would have thought, hey, no rush. You know, I can go anytime.
That's exactly what I did.
Plenty
That's
of great
exactly
movies coming out this year. Yeah.
That's
Keith,
exactly what I did.
Keith, I do want to ask because you have a different perspective than all of us. You have 4 kids that enjoy going to the theater with you. What's it like not being able to take, you know, your son to a Saturday morning show or your daughter to her favorite animated movie or something like that?
That's it. That just hit around the head. I was thinking about that when I took my 2 oldest daughters. It went with me when we went and saw Tenet a few weeks ago, and I was like, this is. I knew I missed it, right? Like, of course, like we all miss it, but walking in, it really hit me like, wow, the last one I took them to see Birds of Prey earlier this year, and that was back in January, right? February, yeah. So, you know, we're talking 8 months, I guess, 7-8 months. So it just didn't hit me until I was walking in with them how much, and that's always been my favorite thing in the world, is taking all them to the movies. Like, honestly, it's like my favorite thing to do, other than just going myself, but just taking them. And so, yeah, so. Yeah, that's been tough. And because and plus, they're getting older, so these times are going to get fewer and further between. So it sucks to not have that, option. To take them to the movies with me. But yeah, it's such an unknown. Who knows? I don't know where this is going to go, man. And I think Gio, everything you're saying, I think you might be right, man. I mean, it just, I don't know if. Jake, you mentioned Cinemark, right? Like, they seem to be, like you said, doing okay, but who knows how long that'll last. I don't even think the ones in Sacramento County they're still not open, are they? I don't think they are.
They officially opened last weekend.
Oh, did they? Oh, I missed that.
Arden is officially open. It opened last weekend.
Arden's open?
Everything in Sacramento County opened last weekend.
Wow. Yeah, I know
The
they
IMAX downtown is officially open.
Because
Is it?
funny because I just read that Tower is opening on Thursday.
Yeah, everything is officially opening
Oh,
here.
weird that
Okay.
like Regal closed
Well,
and those are opening. But
opening, yeah. Well,
Well,
but
those aren't, nationwide change. And
Yeah,
It's mainly the West
no,
Coast. Yeah.
no,
Yeah.
Cinemark is. Cinemark owns.
Well,
They
so
own
Well, yeah.
It's
They own a
Cinemark,
chain.
Century Theaters, and Century Theaters owns everything.
yeah, Century. Well, no, Cinemark. No, it doesn't. Cinemark owns. It's Cinemark.
Oh, you're right.
Cinemark
Cinemark owns Century Theaters, and Cinemark is the main company. You're right. You're right.
Yeah.
Because Cinemark runs because there's a chain on the East Coast called Tinseltown that Cinemark owns. So when I was in Florida, I used to go.
But are they global or are they
But-
just
Cinemark is
US?
global.
Oh, it is?
Is it? Okay, I
Okay.
didn't know that. Okay. Well, that's interesting. But let's see though. Like you said, they can only go for so long showing old stuff that we all have at home or stuff that we have on Netflix and HBO and Hulu and all that stuff. So it's gonna be a lot. That explains all the emails I've been getting from Cinemark. Well, I didn't know they were open. I haven't read any of them because I just like they're not gonna be open for a while. But okay, well, they're gonna have to come up with some creative ways to get people back in theaters, but also we're talking limited capacity, like you guys mentioned. So who knows, man? Who knows where this goes? I hate to see. We can't imagine. We're gonna have a world where just no movie theaters at all. I don't know if that's gonna happen, but it's not looking good.
No, I don't think that'll happen if one of these chains goes out of business. When theaters are able to open again permanently, a new company will be made or something, or let's say one of them goes down, the other one might fill up those spots where those theaters were. I mean,
Sure.
None of it is ideal. Like, I don't want that to happen to any of these movie chains. Like, I go to Regal and Cinemark, and I love them both. I wish we had an AMC up here during normal times. We don't. I would go, but it's just really unfortunate. And basically, Tenet was like, I don't know if you guys heard the analogy, like the first penguin to go out and to get in the water to make sure they don't get eaten by the shark or get eaten
And got ate by the shark.
Yeah, or whatever, to make sure they don't get eaten. Like basically, Tenet was that first movie to go out and test the waters, and the result wasn't great. That a Christopher Nolan movie, you were banking on it like to make 800 million at least, and it made 300 million, and it's not going to make any more. Like if it's still going to stay in theaters as long as they're open, but it's not going to make much more. So if you're No Time to Die or you're Wonder Woman 84, you're like, no, that like they just need to push it out. They need to take the loss on the marketing they've already done and just push it out as far as possible. Or there was one movie that just didn't announce their new release date yet. I think that's the move, to be honest.
Black Adam.
That's
It's Black Adam went from a release date to be determined.
Yeah, I think they should go to be determined because you're gonna just keep disappointing people, right?
Exactly.
Because like there's some people, I mean, like Keith and I did visit a theater, and I gotta say at Cinemark, my experience was very safe. I felt very comfortable with it. But there's people who are like, look, I'm gonna go to the theater, I'm gonna play it safe, and they're looking forward to Wonder Woman 84. And when they keep seeing it delayed, they're gonna keep getting disappointed. So I think the best bet is to just wait until you have more information and don't set a new release date. That's what I think.
Exactly.
The best.
Well, same thing. It's the same thing with the. Oh, sorry, Joe. No. Go ahead.
Oh no. To your point, Jacob, and this is a not so hot take. I think Tenet was the wrong movie to release first.
I agree with you.
Yeah,
I agree with you.
It's not a mass audience movie.
Well, here's the thing. Yeah, Tenet kept pushing its release date. If you guys remember, there was market. They spent a lot of money on the marketing, and they kept saying, "It's like, well, on this date, nope, this date, nope, this date, nope, this date." The first movie that should have came out, and they should have rolled the dice, but they chose another movie instead. Disney should have went with Black Widow. It's a Marvel brand. It's a property. They should have done
I was gonna say Mulan too.
Mulan.
Yeah.
Because there is a high chance that with parents already sending their kids back to school, that parents would send their kids to the movie theaters. There is a high possibility because that movie, unlike Black Widow, can fit every audience member on the planet.
And I was just about to say that it's a worldwide. That's going to be a worldwide audience with that.
But here's the thing: how many people actually bought it for less than they would have spent in the movie theaters?
See, people aren't looking at it like.
I'm curious to see the numbers.
They're just number one because there's a lot of people that don't have.
I want to see it.
I agree. Well, I don't think it's doing. I think it's done okay, but not as well as they. I just heard it the other day, and I can't remember what it was. But.
Here's what I looked up currently. So the movie came out September 4th. On September 24th, early projections estimated that Mulan made $261 million through Disney Plus Premier Access. And imagine that is subtracting a lot of marketing that takes place during regular movie calendar year.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
That's a good amount of money. That is a good amount of money.
I wonder if this will pave the way for a story that was coming up at the end of last year for studios to start opening their own theaters, or maybe purchasing some of these chains, or at least
I think you're going to start to see it.
Keith,
you're going to start to see it.
Keith, do you know who's watching right now this industry with very close eye? Jeff Bezos from Amazon.
Oh my God.
He wants to. He's already in the home video with Prime. He wants a piece of the movie.
He was going to make a move on AMC.
Exactly.
Yeah.
He is. If there was one person who, I don't want to say
Netflix has been talking about this. Has been up in the conversation with Netflix for years, whether or not they're going to buy a theater. They have a theater in LA already.
They do.
Do they go masked?
Yeah, they just had like one theater.
They bought one in LA. Is this the option for Netflix and like you're saying, Prime to step in and start mass producing their own theaters for their own home video stuff or original content?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And then they upcharge the crap out of movie studios to place their movies in their theaters.
Because
I wouldn't be surprised.
Capitalism.
And then streaming services take over the world.
Yeah,
basically.
Hey, but on that point, and I'm pretty sure you guys agree, or you can disagree if you want. They should. There are people out there who are saying right now, put these movies on VOD. Don't do that. Okay,
no, please don't.
Look.
I'll wait 5 years. I'll wait 5 years to see it in a movie theater. I don't care.
Contrary to popular belief, Disney does not have all the money in the world. They just bought 20th Century Fox not too long ago for a hefty price. They got movies that they already shot that are just sitting there with interest growing and growing from the loans that they did for shooting those movies. Yeah. And so Disney is looking at this too. Like, they're comfortable, but they're probably reaching a little bit into their savings right now.
So only thing
and there's no revenue from the park either.
That's where I was going to go. They get to use the pocket of the park as well.
Yeah, but they are getting, but they're getting ad revenue from sports. From sports broadcasts, which is ESPN. A lot. So yeah, for ESPN, and you got the NBA Finals right now on ABC, which they own. So
yeah, they're not going broke, but they're not making really much profit.
Yeah, totally. Yeah,
they're not making Disney money like they used to.
No.
Yeah, the point is that they're not going to be putting these movies out on VOD. So get rid of that idea.
Yeah, and that's the thing. Like, they'll never release Black Widow on VOD. They will not do it. And I wouldn't either if I were them. Just wait.
Mulan would have had to make probably triple for them to even consider doing that.
And look, Mulan cost $200 million to make. Right. So it's tough. Like 300 something's nice, but not when the movie cost 200. They need to make that on like a $40 million movie.
And we're not including though that in a few weeks or possibly like right now, Mulan is actually being put on more streaming services for on demand.
Oh for like
rental. It's being put on rental and purchase on other streaming services, and so there's your other revenue. I'm sure it'll be cheaper than $30 than what Disney Plus has it. And we have to include that on December 4th, all Disney Plus members will be able to watch it, which is also profit. So
it's going to be free.
its profit is gonna shoot up here in the next number of weeks and months.
Yeah.
Not to mention they're making money off that streaming service, and I'm guaranteeing that their subscribe numbers are going to jump up when Mandalorian comes out and WandaVision.
Yeah.
And I would probably guess that when Mulan goes free on Disney Plus, that is the exact day they put it out on Blu-ray.
Probably. Yeah.
They announced today that it's coming out in December.
There you go. December 4th is the day it comes out on Disney Plus. I guarantee you that's the day.
Is it really? Because that's the date they announced for the DVD.
Called it.
Yeah, and honestly, there will be people, because I know people who aren't Star Wars fans.
You read that already.
Who aren't Star Wars fans who don't have Disney Plus, but when those Marvel shows come out, they're gonna buy. They're gonna subscribe just to watch those Marvel shows.
100%.
Not to mention, Falcon and Winter Soldier just started filming again.
Yep.
Yeah.
So
Well, I also wanted to bring that up too because. Look, a lot of projects are starting to go into production again, right? Safely, and they're doing it properly like they should have, and they're going back to the normal way it goes. But say these movies finish and theaters aren't open, what are these movies going to do? Just sit in a tank waiting for the theaters to open? There's no way. Some of these movies, not the bigger ones, not like the Spider-Mans and the Doctor Stranges, but some of these smaller options that these studios have control of, they're going to shop them. They're going to push them to services to make their money. They're going to wait for the blockbusters because they can still make money by selling them to other companies that are going to pay for these movies to put on their services.
I agree.
So we're going to see in a number of months or in the next year or so, there's going to be a lot of shifting going on between services and studios and titles and stuff like that, more so than we've ever seen.
Put the R-rated Mortal Kombat on Netflix, please.
Yeah,
I didn't catch
something like Free Guy. I could see Free Guy going to streaming.
I could see 355 sadly going to streaming.
355 is going to be the old guard for next year.
I could see the Snyder Cut going to streaming. Oh wait.
Hey Jake, so what big movies have officially moved, and did they get release dates or did they not?
Yeah, so let me go ahead and
people who don't know yet.
Let me go ahead and pull that up. So real quick, so the first one to officially move was No Time to Die, and it moved to next April. Essentially a year after its original release date. It was supposed to come out this April, moved to next April. Black Widow also moved to next May, a year after its original release date. The big one this week, though, was Dune. That's the one we've kind of been waiting on. And Dune was officially pushed from December of this year. Yes, Keith, I feel you, because my most anticipated movie this year. It moved from December of this year until October 1st of next year. Now, this is where it got tricky because when this was announced, the first thing people thought of was, wait a second, that's the day that Batman comes out. That is the day that Matt Reeves' Batman comes out. And so people were already thinking, okay, Warner Brothers is going to make the move. They're pushing all other DC movies back. Lo and behold, the next day, we officially learned that the Batman moved from 21 to March 4th of 22. The Matrix 4 moved up from April 1st of 22 to December 22nd of 21. The Flash moves from June of 22 to November of 22. Shazam moves from November 22 to June 23. So nearly about 8 months after its release date. And then Black Adam moves from Christmas of 21 to an unannounced release date as of this moment. There's also been a couple other titles that have shifted recently, but nothing as major as the DC slate and what Warner Brothers is doing. We expect to hear a number of release dates from other major properties as well. Obviously, Jurassic World Dominion, like I mentioned earlier, has been pushed a full year from 21 to 22 of June. And so, this is only the beginning. This is only the beginning. Holiday season is always when movies come out, and we're going to see a lot of these. I don't know what Wonder Woman's going to do. They still have time to decide. Luckily, it's not until December, but I definitely see that probably being pushed until June of next year.
So right now, Wonder Woman's scheduled for December?
Yes, and its original release date was June of this year. I probably see it being pushed until June of next year.
Well, I have a kind of crazy conjecture about Wonder Woman and why it's staying put. There's a chance, I'll give it about a 15% chance, that a lot of things go back to normal after the election.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's just a feeling. I think that
It can also go the opposite way, though.
well, it's already the opposite.
Yeah, we
way.
could all die.
No, it could get a lot. We could go back into lockdown with flu season. Hey,
It feels
Kylo.
like- I don't know. Kind of feels like California's a little bit in lockdown anyway, but I don't know. That's just I don't know. There's a small chance that hey,
Yeah, I mean, Gio, like you're saying, look, if there's a movie that has the chance of making money while theaters are open safely with everything going on, it's something like Wonder Woman. You're going to get a lot of female audiences. You're going to get a lot of not children, but kids in that movie, teenagers, obviously comic book fans. And if it's the only movie that's available in December, of course people are going to go out and see it. And if there's a drive-in option, of course people are going to go out and see it. And so there's definitely a chance for it to make a lot of money compared to a lot of other titles.
Yeah, and December has seen some blockbusters. Like nowadays, December is a blockbuster season, and if Wonder Woman's the only thing out, it's possible it could do well. But I don't like. Are we going to be in a better state than when we were when Tenet came out? Is the question, because Tenet only made $300 million, so that's And if Regal's not open,
yeah. Well, I was going to say, I mean, if there's any issues, if you're just talking about the virus, Gio, maybe not. There may be other stuff going on post-election that could shut everything down as well, but who knows? I don't want to go too far into that. But
it depends who wins.
Well, yeah, that's what I mean. But Jacob definitely hit on the head earlier about just. Like Jake, you just read off all these dates that everything's shifting and stuff, and like we went through the same thing with the sports leagues this summer. And we were trying to figure out when to come back, and especially with baseball, just stop announcing dates because you're gonna have to keep pushing it back. Just TBD, just until you get an actual all clear or relatively all. Yeah, and it just TBD until you because if you can, like I said. I think that constantly pushing Tenet at least 3 times. I mean, that may have hurt it. Nolan's movies have never really been big openings. I think Inception did pretty well, but they've never been like massively open.
Well, they end up making a lot of money because good reviews and they stay in theaters for a long time. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. But they never open up at like 100 and whatever million, or you never really get that with his movie. So, I don't know if that was the right movie, like you said, to open up with, but we'll see.
It'll be very interesting. I'm sure this is not the last time we're going to talk about this. So
yeah,
no, not at all. Yeah,
come back on the first week of November and see what really happens.
Yeah, of course. Yeah,
we're gonna be Apocaflix TV. We're gonna be talking all TV shows.
Yeah, I know, right?
I am not against that whatsoever. You know how I love TV.
Apocaflix streaming.
Honestly,
streaming. Yes.
What else are we gonna talk about? We'll just do like a side.
We'll just start playing video games against each other. That's all.
Yeah. Hey,
that would be huge.
What you guys in squadrons?
Don't mess it, dude.
Brian's gonna buy that.
That's another whole conversation.
$500.
Jacob, you don't think I already have squadrons?
No, I'm saying the streaming piece that we need to be able to do that.
I already have it. So
yeah, we have both. Brian and I both have it.
Oh wow, there you go. There we go. We're set.
Supporting my Twitch.
Apocaflix gaming, streaming. There we go.
I'm not making a logo for that, guys. Sorry.
You'll get bored.
It's all good.
I'll get bored and I'll play around. Yeah, you're right.
You won't be able to help yourself. Exactly.
Yeah, you're right. You guys are right.
I think we figured it out. Like we found a good formula, like with our game nights and stuff like that. But like, there's other movie YouTube channels that are strictly like they only do reviews and they only do movie news, right? So those channels are the ones that are like don't know what to do or make up content and things like that. So it's difficult.
Some people are. Jeremy Johns, who I love, he's reviewing old stuff.
Old movies, yeah,
which is good. This is great. A lot of movies that came out before people started reviewing them online. So,
I mean, maybe we should, not that we should do a separate thing, but we should talk about the bigger streaming stuff on our channel as if it's a new movie now. Like, you know what I mean? Like,
We do that.
Well, we
They
just
said we
did
did
it with,
Noah Holmes. We did that with Noah
Yeah.
Holmes just recently, and we did it with the Old Guard. And
well, I mean,
all
like,
the
even if we
history
do
movies.
like The Boys or something like that when the season's done. I don't
Oh,
know
yeah.
because if
I mean, I already have a thumbnail made for a Boys spoiler review, so it's okay.
there you go. Hey, you're 5 steps ahead. Yeah.
I don't know why you even have to question anymore.
No, well, that's a good thing. Well, because like we talk about Mandalorian and like Daredevil because we're like, oh, it's related to the movies, yeah. But then like The Boys is just a TV show, but it's so good.
Or
But the Boys are so
Umbrella
good,
Academy.
so it makes sense.
We didn't talk Umbrella Academy. I don't know if anybody else watched
Yeah.
it. But yeah.
Guess what?
Well-
Mandalorian's coming back though.
Yes. Yes, it is.
Well, it's basically like we used to do Nerd Nation, right? Sorry, Brian. And like we would talk about the boys on Nerd Nation, right? Like if it was out, and we kind of like pushed, Padawan Nerd Nation into now, basically. Like we can talk about those things on here, so kind of works.
Get ready for Brian's MCU WandaVision reviews.
Oh, don't worry, Brian. I'm already have a name idea for the.
Hey, that's the shirt. Brian's MCU WandaVision reviews.
No, it's going to be called Brian's Vision.
Brian Vision.
Brian
No,
Vision.
it's not. No, it's not.
Man, oh man. Hey, when does the Mandalorian premiere again?
October 30th.
October 30th.
Oh my goodness. I'm just gonna
Friday,
sleep
yeah.
until then. That's gonna be can't wait for that. Well, yeah, any last thoughts, guys? Like, I mean, not to be such a somber show, but it's just the reality of the situation that we're in. Like right now, we got to talk about it.
Stay safe, everyone. Just stay safe. Do it. Wear your mask. Do what you need to do. That way we can get back to normal.
That's what I'm saying. Wear your friggin' mask. We can go to the movies.
It is not that difficult.
It's really not.
Actually, some of the masks actually make you look really cool. So put your mask on.
I know. I'm getting used to it now. Sometimes I leave mine on and I forget that I have it on sometimes because
Some of us need to wear the mask
man.
over the face.
You look like
yeah, they have some really comfortable ones. If you just do some research, they have some really comfortable ones.
Yeah.
All right, guys. Well, that's going to do it for this episode of Apocaflix Now. Thank you for joining us on this newsy topic episode. And don't forget to join us on this upcoming Tuesday. We would really appreciate it. And, of course, find us on social media, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, at Apocaflix Movies. And check out our merch store, TeePublic. Buy some shirts, buy some swag. We will see you all next week.